Hello everyone. So in the previous video we have studied the concept of management and we have studied the meaning of effectiveness and efficiency. We have seen the characteristics of management and the objectives of management. So in this video we are going to study about importance of management and nature of management. So when we talk about importance of management, so how we can say that what all things are important, right? So whenever we talk about any of the business organization, those who have attained top positions only because of the quality of management. So successful organizations do not depend upon the chance, right? They put their deliberate efforts. Therefore, in this video, we'll be seeing the major importance of management. So one by one we'll see the importance of management. The first one is helps in achieving group goals. Every organization has a set of goals to be achieved and organization to achieve these goals by giving the proper direction to the efforts of all individuals towards the main goal, right? So all individual efforts are being directed towards achieving the organizational goal. So the second one is increases efficiency. How does management increases efficiency? By optimum utilization of resources. And in the previous video we have seen what is efficiency. Efficiency means optimum utilization of resources without or minimum wastage of resources, right? So here we are utilizing the optimum resources such as man, money, material, management, which increases the efficiency. So the third one is management creates a dynamic organization. What we understand by dynamic? Dynamic means ever-changing environment. So any organization which has to cope up with the competitive which has to cope up with the competitive market or competitive situation, right? So they have to cope up with the external changes which were taking place in the which were taking place outside, right? So they may be taste and preferences, they may be the government policies, they may be technological changes, right? And so on. Now we see that the fourth one is achieving personal objectives, right? See, every individual is different, every employee is different. So manager has to analyze that every individual has their different needs, right? Like some of the individual have financial needs, some of them have social needs, some might be having higher level needs, right? So through motivation and through leadership, right, these needs can be fulfilled. One is management helps in the development of society. So when we talk about society, it comes under the social objectives, right? Like providing employment opportunities by providing good quality products at reasonable price, by using the eco-friendly methods of production, by providing them schools, hospitals, creches, right? So all these things comes under the development of society, because being an individual, we belongs to society. When we take from the society, we have to give it to the society, and that's why it is very important for the organization to serve for the society and therefore using the eco-friendly products. See, when we talk about nature of management, we came across the three conclusions, right? That management is science, management as an art, or management as a profession. According to some authors, management is considered as science because there are well tested and experimented principles of management, whereas some authors say that management is an art because more practice is required in management, and some authors consider that management is going towards the path of profession. So every author has their different conclusions, has their different theories. So we'll see one by one. So in this slide, we will be looking upon the meanings, right? And one by one, we'll be studying those meanings. So first one is management as a science. So when we ever hear a term science or when we see that science is written somewhere, so it is clearly we have a figure in our mind, imaginary figure in our mind. It is related to experiments, it is been related to laboratory, it is been related to chemicals and all, right? So when we see the definition or when we see the meaning over here, it is a systematic and organized body of knowledge based on logically observed findings, facts and events. That is why science comprises of exact principles which can be verified and it can establish a cause and effect relationship. Now we'll see the second meaning, that is management as an art. So again, when we hear or when we see the term management written anywhere, so again we have that imaginary thing in our mind that art is being related to creativity, such as it may be a drawing, it may be painting, it may be music, it may be dance, right? And any of these. So when we see the meaning over here, it has been written as it is a systematic body of knowledge which requires skill, creativity and practice to get perfection. Now let's take an example. If a person wanted to be a singer in future, so in that case, he has to learn the notes of music. He has to learn rhythms, right? And he has to be very much trained in that particular field, right? So that is why at last it has been written that practice to get perfection. That is why it is known as art. The last one is management as a profession. So when we say profession, profession can be defined as an occupation backed by a specialized knowledge and training in which entry is restricted. Now let's take an example. If a person wanted to be a lawyer, in that case he should have a law degree, right? If a person wanted to be a doctor, in that case he should be have a doctor's degree, right? So that is why every profession is being backed by a specialized knowledge and training. So management is science. Now we'll see the features or the characteristics of science. The first one is systematic body of knowledge. So, in science, organized and systematic study material is available, which is used to acquire the knowledge of science. Like in the same way, in management, there are systematic and organized study material. That is why first feature of science is present in management. The second feature is principle based on experimentation. See, science or scientific principles are formed on the basis of observations and experimentation. And whereas when we talk about management, so in management, the principles are based on various observations and experimentation. But they are not accurate because these experimentations or these observations are being done on human and every human is different from one another. That is why science is partially present in management. Last one is universal validity. Universal validity means in science once the experimentation is done and so those experiments are once they are being defined as valid or classified as valid, then they can be universally applicable. And whereas when we talk about management, some of the principles of management have universal validity, but they are not as exact as principle of pure science. Why? Because they are applied differently in different situations, and once they are applied in different situations, they'll produce the different results. So when we conclude about all these things, management is regarded as a science, but it fulfills certain criteria of being a science. it is not full science or a pure science. That is why it fulfills certain criteria. And it is also known as social science or impure science, right? So for today, this is the last slide. And if you have any query regarding any of the topic which has been taught in the previous video, you may comment below. And in the upcoming videos, we'll be covering up the further topics. So for now, thank you. Take care and be safe.